China's defense ministry has expressed strong opposition to the US arms sales to Taiwan, urging the US to respect China's core interests and immediately withdraw related arms sales items. Defense ministry spokesman Huang Xiaoping said on Friday that the sale brings severe obstacles to an improvement and development of China-US military ties, and added that China reserves the right to take further action. Huang's comments add to the ones made by China's foreign ministry on Thursday after the US Defense Department announced a contract late on Wednesday which allows US company Lockheed Martin to sell an unspecified number of Patriot air defense missiles to Taiwan. China's anti-corruption watchdog has said that 106,000 officials were found guilty of corruption in 2009, an increase of 2.5% on the year before. The number of government officials caught embezzling more than 1 million yuan, or just under $150,000, jumped by 19%. A number of senior executives are already being investigated or have been convicted for taking bribes or other charges, such as falsifying accounts. The former head of oil giant Sinopec, Cheng Tong-hai, was given a suspended death sentence last year for taking nearly $30 million in bribes. Meanwhile, China Mobile fired its vice chairman, Zhang Chunjiang, this week, citing alleged serious financial irregularities. A man accused of being one of the most prolific serial killers in China has gone on trial on charges of murdering 13 people, including police officers, rich businessmen and teenage girls. 37-year-old Cheng Ruilong from Guangdong province allegedly committed robbery, rape and extortion across 6 provinces beginning in May 1996. Chung was sentenced to 7 years in prison in 2005 in Jiangxi province for robbery, serving time under the alias Zhou Chuan. But shortly before his release, fingerprints released by the Ministry of Public Security linked the prisoner with the man at the top of their most wanted list. Chung was said to have used more than a dozen aliases and cut his face to make himself unrecognisable. Beijing lawyer Li Zhuang has been jailed for 2.5 years for giving false evidence and telling others to lie in an organised crime gang trial in Chongqing in the southwest of China. 34 alleged gang members headed by Gong Ganmo were charged in Chongqing in November last year. Gong's family signed a deal that saw Li represent their relative. A court in Chongqing heard how Li urged Gong to reverse his formal confession and to fabricate an accusation of torture by the police during interrogation. Li then attempted to get a local lawyer to bribe a policeman in order to make the cops support the fabricated allegation of torture against Gong. A waiter at a Xinjiang restaurant in Guangdong province has been stabbed to death after being attacked by a gang of men in the restaurant. Police say they have detained 7 men in connection with the brawl on Wednesday night. Officials said a man known as Dong stabbed the Xinjiang native, whose name was only given as Tursan, with a folding knife in a Muslim-style restaurant in the Futian district of Shenzhen. Tursan later died in hospital. Guangdong is home to a number of ethnically Uyghur migrant workers. In June last year, the killing of 2 Uyghur men in the province by a mob of Han Chinese factory workers sparked the ethnic riots in Urumqi days later that left nearly 200 people dead. China has warned the Swiss government against accepting 2 Guantanamo inmates as part of President Barack Obama's effort to close a detention centre, calling them terrorist suspects who should face Chinese justice. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Friday that the pair of ethnic minority Uyghurs pose a serious security threat to China and to Switzerland if it were to offer them a new home. The Alpine nation says it's yet to make a final decision on the 2 Chinese Uyghurs. Nearly 200 prisoners remain at Guantanamo, including 7 Uyghurs picked up in Afghanistan. Last year, 4 Uyghurs found a new home in Bermuda and 6 in the Pacific nation island of Palau. 5 people have died and 1 is still missing after a chemical plant blast in Gansu province in the northwest of China. 15 people are being treated in a hospital for injuries, one of whom is in serious condition. The blast occurred on Thursday afternoon at the plant run by the Lanzhou Chemical Company of China National Petroleum Corporation, or CNPC, 20 miles from downtown Lanzhou, the provincial capital. The dead and injured were all CNPC employees. An investigation is still underway, but initial findings show a gas leak may have caused the blast. China's securities regulator said on Friday that the State Council had approved in principle to approving stock index futures, trading on margin and short-selling investment tools that are commonly used in New York, Chicago, London and many other financial markets. Analysts say the move is designed to make China's capital market system more sophisticated and stable as investors receive a new set of risk management tools. For the first time, investors in China have more options than simply buying and selling their favourite stocks. The stock market in China is known for wild price swings. The benchmark Shanghai Composite Index almost doubled in 2007, then slumped 68% in 2008 before rebounding about 80% last year. And that's the BON News headlines for now, but we'll be back with more news after this.